Hello, and welcome back to Chants of Sennaar, where we are starting over. New game, sort of. So, in the last part, we finished validating all of the languages, and we tried to get to... we made all of the links between all of the cultures, and then we tried to get back up to the top of the tower and got zapped and sent back to the beginning. So... obviously, there is still an ending to get to this game. We don't have the true ending, or the good ending, or whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of feels like New Game Plus, but I don't imagine it's going to actually be that. So at this point, I did notice that there's basically an achievement for every interaction between the cultures. I guess I can start walking. There is an interaction between the cultures. They tend to have achievements for it. And so I did look at the achievement list just to see what I'm missing. There are 3 things, only one of which is the warrior monster scientist interaction, which apparently I was close to, but like I thought I was going to be in lab 3. I actually got a comment on that telling me to go to lab 1. Just was in the wrong spot. So we'll check that out. Aside from that, there are 2 other achievements that honestly just look really silly, but I guess I'll get them since I'm doing this anyway. And other than that... okay. Interesting. Other than that, I guess we're just going through the tower again. Or something. So I can't interact with this. Doesn't seem to do anything. And then we're just trying to get to the new ending. So yeah, I'll check out the things that I could do. Hello, person. You're new. I'm here. So there might actually be a lot more to this game than I thought. We'll see. I am glad that there's still some more talking type stuff because... oh, okay, yeah, everything's all mixed up. There's stairs going to random places, things are upside down. Yeah, because this game, the language side of things was really fun and interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. It would have been nice to have a little bit more variety, I guess, with some of the languages, but I guess I can get into that more at the end. However, the other gameplay stuff in this game, the stealth segments, the timing segments, all of that, it's been serviceable and it's been okay in short bursts as a way to break up the experience. But it honestly isn't that great as just standalone gameplay. So I'm hoping that this final section of the game, if that's what we're truly on, which I suspect we are, isn't going to be just like one long stealth segment to try to get to the top of the tower, because that would be kind of disappointing. Also, we might have missed the ability to do certain things if everything's kind of a random mess at this point. Okay, there's something we can do there. Eyes in the pit. I wonder what the mural's gonna look like. The impure ones making music, I guess. The warriors building the fortress. Chosen ones, the call. Okay. I'm going to assume I'm not able to get through them. But yeah, I think I might have missed the opportunity to do certain things, unless I'm able to restore the tower. Yeah, so this is the exile icon a bunch of times. Okay, so what are we looking at? Multiple impure make music, maybe? So, good thing I went up to the mural first. That told me what the answer was. So I don't have multiple saves. This is my only save, so I guess I might just be locked out of the warrior interaction with the soldier. Idiot you are. Ah, good to see you guys at the same as ever. Okay, exile on banners on the theater. Shiny. Okay, a coin with a frowny face. That was actually kind of what I'm gonna guess. And is it gonna say exile? It sure is. Alright, let's give him a coin. We had the ability to give him something. And this is the exile place. You I don't like. A monster you are. Okay. I guess that's the way forward. Nope. Is this the same child that we played hide and seek with earlier? Like at the very beginning of the game? And free, okay. So I guess we had to do that in order to go up. Okay, let's go up the wrong way first, just to take a look. Okay, that would be why we don't do that. This is a fairly fancy looking stairs. Interesting that we're kind of going back to the devotee language, which honestly was my favorite of all of the languages. Okay, now we get to watch a play. Did you find exile? No music. Okay, there's a saw. No words at all. Saw, instrument. Is this the same order? Would it be fire next? Fire. Compass. And then sword. I don't know why I remember that. Okay. Okay, you found... The foolish bard has found the path, and... They're a monster? Scientist! Oh no! Wait, we're brothers. Okay. Okay, so that's the change there, so I'm guessing there's going to be a code door. Based on the patterns here. We are brothers, maybe? Yeah, books, but the book is gone. Can't go that way, can't go anywhere else. We can do this. This is no longer a fast travel point. Okay. Brothers. Okay, I don't think this actually works. Because... yeah, if I wanted to go brothers... brother IB. Okay, so what is this image here? Maybe it's a scientist I found. Do they have a word for scientist? I guess I could be looking at the things that have the right shape instead of looking at everything. So you have man, warrior, and bard. That's all they really had, right? So instead of a monster, it's... man... the bard... saw? But then... okay, this is not clear. This is unfortunate, because... so... looking at the image, we have 2 trees and... I mean, I could try a few other things, but I'm just guessing at this point. Where's path? Path. A path. The idiot bard. Saw is the item we want to find. Verbs have a dot at the top right. Okay. Path, the idiot bard find. Nope. So, I guess we're looking for an exile icon again. You know that the theater was... I don't really want to watch that play again. Yeah, I'm actually stuck. I can't go back down. Yeah, so it is this scene about the 2 trees. I don't think the rest of this matters. This initial segment. And I feel like I've already tried several things that are reasonable. So unfortunately, this puzzle has been reduced to guess and check what it is that they're asking for. None of this matters. Maybe it's a man the stupid bard found? Can try that. But it's just going to be some variation of that, right? And I need to... There's... Okay, there's another hint over here, maybe. The path, idiot bard, saw you found. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is better. Look for the jumbled mess where things were changed. The path the idiot bard found. And yeah, this looks like idiot again. So a man the idiot bard found. Okay. Having seen that, I hate this puzzle a whole lot less than I used to. That actually seems somewhat reasonable. And again, I could be using this site. Okay, so it's not unreasonable. You're just having to make sure you have the context. So, man, the idiot, bard, saw, man, the idiot, bard. Do we have a verb for see? Not in this language. Okay. I think maybe it's not man. Maybe it's brother. A brother. Because that would... Yeah, okay. A brother the idiot bard found. Because that ties into the book that we found in the library. Okay, well we can... Oh no, that's where we came from. Okay. Okay, the card game, but now instead of God, it's exile. Okay. Good thing I have a somewhat decent memory, I guess, for a lot of this stuff. That is the code. We're looking for words, so there's going to be the murals down here. One of these will be different. Let's just go to the beginning. We still have God there. Ah. That one is blank. Let's keep going, though. There's no water at all. So we haven't been able to go this way before. Hold on. Branching paths. Oh, no, it's just this has been moved. Okay. Scientist make potion. Probably no point in doing that, any of these. Alright, scientist make potion. Gonna stop me if I try to go too far? Yeah. We can still look at this, but... We've wandered, we've found... I don't need to look at the rest of these murals, they're just gonna be... do we have a word for scientist in this language? I don't think we do. However, the text at the bottom was in the scientist's language. So I guess it's going to be not scientist, it's going to be alchemist, plural, makes formula. Probably what we want. Yeah. Um, alchemist, plural, make... formula. Hello, monster. Okay. You can go in the light now. And I guess... Okay. Yeah, so this is what I mean about the movement in this game not being super responsive. And this is pretty demanding. So the camera is not really... Oh, great. Walk up the stairs, yeah. We try that again. Alright. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running through the maze, I guess. Do I have to light all of the fires? Hello? Okay. Yeah, trying not to just dwell on negativity here, but this final section of the game has really not been all that interesting. It's just like all the bad parts of the game in condensed, I feel like. I don't know. Shut off the exile. And we were the exile all along is what I get out of that, because this seems like the body we were just using. Greetings. You stopped exile, you revived my people. Alright, are we back in the actual normal tower now? If that's the case, let's go see if we can check the 3 missing achievements, and then we'll get to the ending. Talk to people as we find them. You came to help us. You stopped exile. So the thing that's not clear, really, is why exile was a thing. Like, why was there this antagonistic force in this tower? It felt like it was kind of out of left field. Yeah, okay, things seem to be back to normal. Alright, achievement the first. Actually... There's one of two places this could be. Ring the Abbey bell 3 times. Okay, there we go. Well, that sure was an achievement. I guess I'd done it twice previously. Okay, the next one is warriors. The description of this achievement was kind of silly. By which I mean, it's kind of pointless, again. It is just to go to the armory. This might not have been the fastest route. But it's to go to the armory and put on the wrong outfit after you've solved everything. So I guess we can run around with a spear. And I don't think it matters what we acquire at this point. The warriors aren't hostile anymore. We're allowing strangers in the area. And for that matter, I mean, they have these tools here. I'll leave that. Fashion victim, leave the army with the wrong disguise once the call is made. Alright, right, I think it's actually faster to have gone from the other teleporter point. But that's this, or is this the... It's not a teleporter. Oh, the other teleporter is... just out here. That's right. So the third thing we want to do is go visit the scientists in the lab. The scientists have the nicest navigation just because they have like a central hub structure with an elevator connecting everything. So... I think this might be it. I mean... that works. Probably about the same, honestly. This area was quite neat. I enjoyed the alchemist level quite a bit. I mean, really, the first 4 levels were all pretty good. The 5th level is the one I have the most issues with. Right, so from the other one, I could have come up this way. Alright, let's go to Lab 1. Reports on good. See the captured monster in the laboratories. I guess I can't actually see it, but There it is. Okay, and the implication here, because they did say they want to help the monster, so this might have been an experiment gone wrong, and they're trying to convert the person back to a normal human. I guess the name of the achievement checks out with that. Alright, and I believe I have every achievement now except for True Ending, and the True Ending achievement, all it said was that it's the True Ending achievement, so I don't know how to get it, but I assume that I kind of already have the conditions in place, because I've stopped the exile. So now if I go up to the very top of the tower, will it let me? And I do it without getting zapped this time. Are the people still playing their game? No. It looks like the anchorites have been freed. Okay, data no longer coming in and out of the orifices here. Go up. You opened the doors, you revived the tower. And up and up. And we've got representatives of every culture here. We've got all of the lights lit up. Warriors, bards, anchorite, devotees, and alchemists. In this together, reach the real end of the game. Reaching, even. Okay, and that shape was the most important thing to each of the cultures. Just in a different orientation, I guess. That's neat. Alright, so that's the end of Chants of Sennaar, barring any kind of post-credit sequence, I guess, if there is one. So, my first thing I want to talk about is my favorite thing about the game was the devotee section. I felt like it had by far the strongest start, and I think the reason for that is because you don't have any languages at all, so you're just using... you're having to figure out the entire language from scratch. Whereas every language after that point, you had a couple of translations that you could do from previous languages, which just kind of shortcutted the process. So yeah, the devotees was my favorite language. Also, as far as the language structures go, you could find repeated patterns within a lot of the languages. But the devotees also had my favorite script overall, because you had reduplication. It's the only language that used that, where for plural you just do the same thing twice. And I know it sounds redundant, but reduplication is actually the term for that. So like man, man instead of man plural. And also where they had like man plus icon for like man speak was the preacher. You know, man conflict was warrior, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a very neat language. I enjoyed that one a lot. The second language, the warriors, it did what it needed to do. It was definitely more of a focus on the gameplay being different. So less of the point-and-click adventure and more of a stealth game. And yeah, I think it worked. The stealth mechanics were relatively clear. So in that instance, I didn't hate it. I think it was okay. And there were some neat puzzles involved with stuff, and also trying to fit in and follow instructions, like having the other warriors barking orders at you, and you having to understand the language well enough to follow the order to avoid raising suspicion. So I thought that was really good. The Bard's language. This one was the only language that had a different word order structure. In fact, there's a lot of things that the Bard language did uniquely that none of the other languages did. And so I actually really appreciated the language aspect of it. Because they had the sentence-wide modifiers with the negate at beginning and end, or question at beginning and end. I think they were the only language with a explicit question marker. But from a language learning perspective, I guess the Bards was quite a bit more difficult than the others, just because well, for a number of reasons. First of all, the way it's written, your entire sentence kind of just looks like one character because there's no spaces, and you just kind of have everything on one connected line. So if you don't know the words, it can be hard to know where a symbol begins or ends. Also, they had a lot more abstract stuff. Like we learned, was it beauty and comedy and probably music? I think the 3 statues at the beginning. So like a bunch of less concrete items to work with. So that made things a lot harder. However, the maze aspects of it, the final maze where you had the compass and it was kind of randomized on every instance of it was good. But the underground like servant quarters kind of passages, it wasn't terribly interesting. It just kind of felt big. But overall, yeah, it was still pretty good. And then the alchemists with the numbers. You had to figure out the numbers in order to understand some of their puzzles, and the number system was quite neat, so that was enjoyable. And it felt like it had the most puzzle-type stuff. Like you had to understand things very precisely in order to make forward progress, which is very fitting for what the alchemists were. So, from a puzzle perspective, I think that was my favorite. From a language perspective, it was the devotees. From a puzzle perspective, gameplay perspective, I guess, it was the alchemists. Was my favorite section. And then you have the anchorites. And the anchorites, I think I mentioned last time that it almost felt like the developers just kind of ran out of time and had to rush out something, like they ran out of funding or something and had to rush it out. It definitely had a digital feel to it. Like the language, it was almost like a digital display you'd have like on a digital clock, where you have all of these lines that I guess I can go into the game and actually be pointing at things instead of just sitting in the menu here. But yeah, like this almost kind of looks like a digital display where you have these different lines, and it's always the same lines that are being used. And then also the fact that you're able to superimpose things on top of each other. Like this, for example, is die, not, and then revive is to not die. So there were some interesting things about this language. However, this entire language was kind of just given to you for free. Like, I know I didn't immediately understand how the rotation rings worked, but once I did, it ended up being basically the least interesting option it could have been. So that was somewhat disappointing. So yeah, there's stuff that could have been done with this language, but overall, I don't know. It just kind of happened. It was just kind of given to you, and you didn't really have to use it. And one issue with this game, I don't know, issue might be too strong a word, but once you have a language mastered, a lot of the time you can kind of, like I would just kind of, I'm just going to scan everything and see where's the word I'm looking for. And when I'm talking to people, you just read the translation instead of trying to look at the symbols. So, I mean... But yeah, the biggest issue I had with this final section was... Well, two issues was that they just kind of give the language to you for free, so you don't feel like you're earning it. And then they had kind of a lot of stealth and movement gameplay type stuff, especially in that monster chase sequence at the very end, where the movement in this game kind of felt a bit rough the whole way through. It didn't really matter for most things, but the occasional timing puzzle or stealth section they were definitely the worst parts of the game. And kind of ending the game with that it's one of those things where, because that's the most recent gameplay in my mind now, like a year from now, if I'm looking back at this game and thinking, okay, Chants of Sennaar, that was the game that had those annoying stealth segments. Like, that's kind of going to be the thing that's going to stick out to me because that was what they chose for the climax of the game. The remix thing, while we were, I guess, inside the Matrix or whatever you want to call it, it was alright. It wasn't my favorite, but it did use the language still, so that was alright. And then finally, my ulterior motive for playing this game was that I am somebody who makes games, and I am also a language teacher, and language learner, language teacher, and I want to make language learning software. And so I heard this was a video game about learning languages, and I wanted to see if there were ideas here that I could take into some sort of language learning environment. I don't think there are. This is very much a game and not a learning tool. Obviously, the languages in the game are fake, but even if they weren't, like, none of these languages had alphabets. None of these languages had phonemes. Like, there were no sounds connected to anything, really. I mean, maybe there were, but it wasn't important enough. I didn't pay too much attention to the voice lines. I figured it was just kind of gibberish. So, yeah, the actual language aspects of it, it's kind of like Chinese characters or Japanese kanji, basically, every single language, which is fine. But, yeah, for most language learning purposes, you're not going to get very far with any of the systems that they used here. As a puzzle game, it was pretty good, though. I enjoyed this quite a bit. And that's it for Chants of Sennaar. So I guess we will find another puzzle game for next time. I will see you then.